Welcome back to That's It. So I wanted to keep you updated about my second consult at a different facility for fertility yesterday. So I went yesterday, March 13th, to Shady Grove Fertility, and can I tell you, it's like night and day compared to Brown Fertility. It was just the atmosphere, the office setting. It was just nice and bright, blush colors, very modern. They had a lot of what you call it, a lot of detour, a lot of paintings. It was just very nice. It was very nice and refreshing. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good. So far, so good. That's what I said to myself until Dr. Kendall called me in to her office. And when I went to her office, I was like, wow, she had the biggest office I ever seen in my life. And then the view was just amazing. And I even told her, you have the best office that I ever seen in my life. And she started laughing. She said, yeah, I would basically stay there forever, basically sleep there. And then she started laughing. I'm like, her office is amazing. And I've been to a lot of doctors' office, and this tops it off. It's just a view. The windows was just big and bright, and her office was just humongous. I never seen a big office like that. So kudos for her. So then I sat down in her office, and then I gave her all my medical records from the first place that I went to when my husband and I did all our testing. And then I gave her the MRI that I took back on October of 2022, and then the recent blood work that I got done at Quest um, that Brown Fertility wanted me to do. So I gave her all that. And she said, man, she was just very impressed how organized I was because I had everything to the T. And I told her, Dr. Kendall, I don't mess around, okay? I know what I want. My husband and I are desperate to start a family, and I don't have no time to play games. And I was very transparent with her and told her my story about the two facilities that I went to, that they accepted my insurance. The one facility, they accepted my insurance. We were in network. The turnaround, long story short, they billed it out of network and send my husband and I a big fat bill. I told the billing department, I'm not paying for your error and for your incompetence, okay? Then it was like a back and forth thing, and then she spoke to her supervisor, and then they will cut it in half to 500 because the bill was like 2,000. She said she was going to cut it to 5. I'm like, I'm not paying 500 either. I'm not paying for your incompetence and not knowing you don't know what you're doing. If it was out of network, my husband and I would never entertain or make an appointment to see you guys. Point blank, period. So it was your mess up. You're going to deal with it because we're not paying it. Okay? So we left. We did all the testing. However, like I told you in my previous video, the doctor who ordered the test for me to get done, which is HSG, and it is, I'm going to try to sound it out. It is hypertorloctogram. So basically, it is an X-ray procedure to see whether my fallopian tubes and the uterus cavity is normal. And that's the test that I did to check the ovaries and everything. So when they did that, I got the results because I wanted my medical records so I can go see another specialist, but they never went over the results with me. Then, like I told you before in my previous video, I went to Brown Fertility, did a consult with my husband and I, and then the nurse practitioner told me of the result of the HSG that my fallopian tubes were closed, the right and the left, because of the fibroids, because the fibroids is blocking the sperm to get into the uterus and to the egg. So when she told me that, like I said, I was devastated. I was heartbroken. I'm like, why is this happening to me? Why? Then I had an issue with them because they take my insurance, but they didn't cover treatment for fertility. And I was very, very clear and very transparent with them. Do this insurance accept? Does treatment fertility? They said yes. If they said no, I would not waste my time. But luckily, it was not such a waste. Like I said, we did our first consult. You made an appointment, and then we wanted to wait until my husband, his insurance, the open enrollment started. It started on February 24th because they didn't set my United Healthcare. Come to find out, like I said, they didn't set my husband's insurance. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm back to square one. So I kept the appointment at that place, Brown Fertility, and then I called Cigna and found out what specialist specialize in fertilities that accepts my insurance plan. She gave me a list of all the specialists, excuse me, and I called Shady Grove Fertility. And I went, made an appointment. Like I said, I went to go see Dr. Kendall, pardon me, and she is a very nice woman, beautiful, young. I was just amazed of her professionalism and everything, and it was wonderful. So she wanted to know my backstory, which I told her, like I'm telling you guys of my situation. Then I told her that I just want to make sure that my insurance is treatment. Then she said, you know what, let me just find out because I want to make sure that everything is right because I don't want you to have the same issues that you have with the other two facilities. I'm like, okay. So she stepped out of her office and then she spoke to someone and then she said that, oh, they don't, your insurance, your insurance cover the consultation. However, they don't cover treatment. I told her, hold up, wait a minute, So I went to my bag and I pull up the Cigna plan, the plan that Cigna cover. I even highlight everything that Cigna cover, and it says fertility treatment up to $25,000 max. Okay, she was shocked. I'm like, yeah. So she said that her financial team will give me a call. I'm like, yes, they cover it because if they did not cover it, like I said, I would not waste my time to make the appointment as a new patient. I would have called other places. So it said treatment. So when us women are when we're having issues with fertility and we can't get pregnant on our own, it covers treatment. So that's what it says, black and white. I didn't tell her that. I just told that to myself. And I'm like, I just don't want to go through this again. I don't want to start all over, meet another doctor, blah, blah, blah. But luckily she saw what I was talking about. She said, okay, you're on the ball, Cheryl. I'm like, yes, because I'm not messing around. I'm dead as serious when I said my husband and I want to desperately start a family. Time is not on my side, meaning age is not on my side. My husband, yes, he can get someone pregnant, God forbid, if I'm not around until he's like 80 or 90. Okay, me, not so much. So that was squared away. We put that away, and then she put in all my medical information in the system in my chart, and then I started telling her, my husband and I are been trying for like years, nothing's been happening. And then when the nurse practitioner went over the results with me, and I'm thinking it was my husband's the issue, not me. And then when she told me that I'm the issue too, I just broke down in Dr. Kendall's office. I'm like, I feel like I was like in therapy, but she was just so sweet and just listening to what I had to say. I just broke down into tears when I was talking about that all this time I was blaming my husband, thinking that my husband's the issue because he has a low sperm count, when it's actually me. Joke's on me, right? And that's what I told her. I'm like, it was me the issue. And I asked her, could I have done something to prevent this? Like in my 30s, when I go to get an annual pap smear, obviously they don't check ultrasound. They just check to make sure if your pap smear is normal or abnormal. And I just wish that I would have just done something more to figure this out sooner than later, or when I got the results of the the first facility that I went to. I wish I would have just been more hands on and made an appointment with the doctor. Then I could have just wasted. I I would have got this ball started, if that makes sense. I wasted so much time because I was just not consistent with it, and I blame myself. And then she was like telling me, don't blame yourself. It is what it is. You're here now, and then she's right, and I can't go back, which she is correct. I can't go back, and I'm here now. So then she was breaking down all the details, what's what's going to happen, because I told her that I want to do IUI. And then while she was looking at the results and everything, she said that the odds of me getting pregnant, she said it's very slim, but it's not possible. So basically, the cards are stacked against me because of one, my age, two, the amount of eggs that I have, and three, of my fallopian tubes are being closed. But she said it is not impossible. It is going to be a long road ahead of me, especially if I want to do IUI and there's IVF. And also, she mentioned, which I was not aware of. I knew people donate their sperm and their eggs, but there's people donate their what did she ovaries, and I'm like, what? That's a thing? And I'm like, she said, yeah. I'm like, I never knew that. I never knew that, and I told her I would definitely look into that. So she gave me several options that if I can get pregnant, that I can do a donor, that I can take a woman's um, or the woman's egg basically, and then insert it. I mean, inside me and in all of her sperm, but it's our kid. But at the same time, it's not my my DNA or my husband's DNA. It's technically the woman's DNA. So I have to know the woman's blood type and everything. So I thought that was pretty weird, but that's out there. People are doing it, and that's a thing, which I didn't know. I definitely knew about like donating sperm and your egg and your other thing that she mentioned, but that's the last resort. I told her I really want to try to do the IUI, and then she told me about the IVF if the IUI don't work, and basically I'm going to be retested for the HSG. I'm going to be retested of that to see how big or small my fibroids is, if it's still open or still closed. And you know what? I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in my Lord and Savior from now until her team calls me to make this appointment. All things are possible through God. God can open my fallopian tubes, and I have no fibroids anymore. And then when they do the test, they're gonna like it's all gone, and then I can start the IUI. I'm very positive. I'm very hopeful. I hope that's the case because God can do anything. So from now until her team, Dr. Kendall's team, call me, I'm going to be praying. I'm going to be fasting, and by the grace of God, I hope that the fibroids did not grow. I hope it was still the same how it was back in 2022, and I just hope it shrank. I hope it shrank, and I hope it didn't grow any bigger, and I hope that my left and right fallopian tubes is open. But and that's what I told her, because all things are possible. But and then they're going to test my eggs to see how much eggs I have because I just turned 45, and I get it because with science and she's a doctor, but I feel like all things are possible. Like God can multiply and give me more eggs, for me to produce to have a child. He can open my fallopian tubes. I believe in that because I have faith and I have trust, even though I can't see it, even though I get not nervous but anxious about it, and sometimes I feel down. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel down and out. Sometimes I hear, this white noise is not gonna happen, Cheryl. You should just give up. You should just not waste your time going through this and putting your body through this. And I told Dr. Kendall, a lot of things has been thrown at me with this news, and then with things with my husband, and then me. And it's like it's just being punched in the face 20 times. And I'm like, I'm not a quitter. I've never been a quitter. I always been thrown challenges, tough challenges in my life, and I always get up and push forward and push through and not feel sorry for myself. And this video is not to feel sorry for myself, not for anyone to feel sorry for myself, but to tell you about my story and give a testimony. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I never thought in a million years I would be in this situation. I'm going to keep it 100. I never thought I was going to be in this situation, that this was going to be my journey to try to get pregnant. I thought it would be easy for me because it was easy for my sister, even though my sister waited for a long time to get pregnant, but she got pregnant. And I just never thought that this would be a challenge for me. I just assumed that, that I would get pregnant very easily and very naturally, but that was not the case. That was not the case, and I'm just going to keep, moving forward with this. And I'm glad that Dr. Kendall was very transparent, very honest. She gave me a lot of options and what to think about, and then I told her what I want. I told her I want to move forward with the IUI. Let's start with that first, even though my age and an amount of eggs that she's seen in the results, that I don't have enough eggs, that the odds is stacked against me. Now, when she looked at my husband's result, she said the sperms is okay, but it's not too great. So she's saying that my husband's sperm, it's in the middle. It's not bad, it's not good, it's in the middle. So he's going to get retested again. So we're all going to get retested, and then hopefully we get not hopefully, but then we get the results, and then we go from there. So by the time her teams call me, I make the appointment for the HSG, and then test my eggs, and then they're gonna see my husband's sperm, and then once she gets the results, Dr. Kendall, then we will go from there to see if I can do the IUI. If I'm not, and then she said there's three trials to do the IUI, and then if the IUI don't work the third time, then the next step is to do IVF. I'm opposed to IVF. I don't want to do the IVF because I don't want chemicals in my body. I don't know how my body's going to react to the chemicals. I don't like needles. I don't like to get jabbed with needles on me. I don't even like getting blood drawn. I just start getting, weirded out. I can see the sight of blood. I just don't like needles in me, point blank, period. So she said that's another option. And then the third route is what she offered, that I can get, there's donations of someone's egg. Not, I'm trying to remember, not egg, but ovaries. I don't know, something she said that they do now that they donate, which I was not aware of. I know people donate their eggs and they donate their sperm, but she said something else I just can't remember on top of my head because she gave me a lot of information yesterday, which I should have wrote down. I should have wrote the information down, but I was just trying to retain everything and just make sure I got everything right and understand what she was telling me. And but that's the consultation went well. My appointment was at 3. I did not leave until 4 o'clock. So it went really well. It was really good. I felt good about the consultation. I cried a lot. I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman might think I'm crazy or weird, but she was just very nice and supportive. She recommended me a gynecologist when I do get pregnant to go see them, and she recommend a group when women are going through, you know, um, um, not issues, but when women going through things about like feeling bad about themselves, they blaming themselves that they should have done more if they would have knew about their situation, like a support system. And she gave me the website of that, which is great. So it was really good. I really had a good experience yesterday about it. I really feel good about this place. I'm praying and hoping that her team calls me, which they will. And I just made my husband an appointment, like I told you, for his to get his semen analysis done. And I'm just waiting for the financial team to call me and her other team to book the appointment for everything because I have to do it before my period starts or after my period starts. But I'm looking forward to it. I just really want to get this ball started. And then she even told me about I even told her about the procedure that I want to get done to remove the fibroids, the non-invasive one, because I don't want to be cut up. But again, it all depends when I get retested again, and then once the results come back to see how big the fibroids grew or how small. I'm praying that it stayed the same, or it got smaller, or it is no longer there. That God had put His hands in on my body and then my arteries, my eggs, my uterus, that's what I was trying to say, and remove it all. And that once I get the results, a miracle will happen. And it's in God's hands. And I have faith. Like I said, I have trust. I believe that will happen. I just have to continue with prayer and fasting and be encouraged and not let this get me down. That there is light at the end of the tunnel. That some shape, way, or form, I will become pregnant this year. You best believe it. And I just cannot wait to tell you guys the good news that I am pregnant, my husband and I. And then just go from there. And this is not going to be an easy journey. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. There's times I'm going to cry. There's times I'm going to be sad. There's times I'm going to be disappointed. But I just have to keep my head up and keep moving, keep going, and just reassure myself that everything's going to be okay, that I'm not alone in this. I know there's a lot of women that's going through this similar situation that I'm going through, maybe even harder. I'm not sure. I would love to hear your stories. If you have stories to share with me, like I said, this is a very safe place. I'm very open for any suggestion that you can help me to get through this journey in my life and my husband's life as well. And like I said, I never thought in a million years I would be in this situation. I told Dr. Kendall this. Never thought. I thought that I would get pregnant very easily right away. I stopped taking birth controls in my early 30s to cleanse everything out of my system. Clean. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I try to eat healthy. Exercise. I need to exercise more. I need to cut off sugar because I've been very bad with sugar, so I need to cut that off. Like I'm basically changing my whole diet and everything just to get my body ready for anything that has to come with the procedures and everything, and also pregnancy as well. Because it's super important to be healthy and to eat healthy, to drink plenty of water, which I'm doing, and just to just to take care of my body because my body is I only have one body. It's my temple, and I have to make sure that I'm taking care of it and doing everything right, and just staying active and taking my vitamins and everything. So I'm just super excited for this journey and what's to come. And I just hope and pray that God can work his miracle and Dr. Kendall can, do what she can as a doctor. I know she goes by science. I go by God, by faith, by trust, by prayer as well. And I'm strongly in my faith, and I know that He can do all things for me, and nothing's impossible. Nothing that God cannot do is impossible because He can do anything. If He can get Sarah and Hannah pregnant at the age of 99, which I don't want to be pregnant at the age of 99 because I don't want to be having a walker or a cane trying to chase my baby down. No. So, and plus I think that's just impossible, but anything's impossible, like I said. But you get the drift of what I'm trying to get at. I just want God's miracle, God's blessing, and so I can just tell you guys my testimony that this God is real, He is faithful. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let that white noise tell you otherwise, because that white noise constantly telling me He's not going to do it for you. He's not going to do it for you. Give up. Why are you wasting your time? I do hear it sometimes. I hear the devil telling me all this. I'm like, no, I rebuke you, Satan. Okay? I rebuke you. You not know. God has done many things in my life that it came to pass. Okay, so why would He stop now? It's just taking longer than I normally would expect it. But he's never late. God is always on time, and He sees my struggles. He sees late at night when I lay on the pillow and start crying and getting emotional, and I'm starting to get emotional now, so I don't want to start crying. But He knows my heart. He knows my intention. He knows that how desperately I want to become a mother so bad, and just to raise a family with my husband and I and my dog, and just have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby, and just go from there. So I just have to keep believing, keep trusting. And as long as I'm continuing to still have my period, thank you, Jesus, I'm good. There's still a chance. But the more time I have my period, the less eggs I have. So with Dr. With Dr. Kendall mentioned to me that there's a medication that can increase my eggs. And I'm not really good with, I don't like medication, but if it can help or to increase my egg level, I'm all for it, as long as it's safe on my body and everything. And then she mentioned the RH negative, like when I'm like 20 weeks, I believe, I can't remember, pregnant. When I become pregnant, that I have to take that shot so my baby can get the nutrients and then the blood flowing in my body and in my baby's body, so there's no issues during my pregnancy or miscarriage. So she explained that to me, which that's great. And again, yeah, I just wanted to keep you updated about my experience. And my experience was great at the Shady Grove Fertility, and I just can't wait until the next journey starts when I get all this test done, retest again. And again, I will let you guys know. Hopefully, they will be okay with me filming while they do the test. I have to get their permission first, and then I can just show you what the steps that they're doing, and I will let you know pretty soon. So thank you for watching. That's it with Cheryl. I really appreciate it, and I see you guys next time on the next journey of my fertility. Bye.